So when we talk about tracking off the field before planting with the tractor to make it easy to identify where the plots are and make sure we have the correct spacing between the plots, it's very important to match the type of tractor and the type of equipment you are planting. For example, many of my variety trials I plant with a 5-foot drill. That means when I track off my fields with a 5-foot center tractor and the drill in the back, each pair of tracks corresponds to one plot. I used the same drill to plant another experiment where we have 15-foot plots. That meant we had to go 3 passes with that machine to cover those 15. And why we did that? Because one of the treatments was corn, and our corn seeder was a 6-row corn seeder of 15 foot wide. So we need to accommodate that plot size to the different equipment we have available to make it easy and more practical to implement the trials and apply the treatments. So in another video we talk about calibration and how important is calibration. I'm going to show you a mess up we did because we didn't calibrate the machine correctly. So we had the machine, it was a cone planter, we had it calibrated for 20 foot long plots, and we came back to this plot here and it was supposed to be 25, and we did not recalibrate. We had the amount of seeds correct, but the machine was not correctly calibrated. So we made 2 passes. The width of the machine, the planter, is 5 feet and the width of the plot is 10. So we had 2 passes, one going that way and one coming back this way. And what happens is that we start planting here in the beginning of the plot and it planted 20 feet. So that means 5 feet on that other end are not planted. And when we came back here where Dr. Rios is standing, the same thing happened. We came back, we tripped the machine over there, it dropped the seeds for 20 feet and then stopped, and then we have an area here that had not been planted.
So in previous videos we talked about marking plots and squaring your plots, how that basically affects later your management practices. In this case we're standing in a randomized complete block design with a single factor. The factor is the varieties. Plot maintenance in turf plots and also in forage plots when you have species that are propagating with rhizomes or stolons is very important. So we just have recently spray and control the runners here. In this case, as you can see here, we have runners going out of the plot. So that's why it's important to square them, because then later we have to come and cut the stolons that are running and then apply herbicide here in the center to avoid plot contamination. So in this case, the machine that we have basically is centered here in a 5-foot center. So if you don't have the plots square, this practice is very, you will have to do it basically by hand. So that's why it's important to mark your plots, square them very well at the time of planting, so you can reduce the amount of labor that you have to apply later to maintain the plots.